Yo everybody, I'm here today to fix a Vizio TV that just suddenly stopped working on us last night. It is a Vizio model D43-C1. I'll put it in the descriptions below. It's a relatively newer TV, and instead of paying the outrageous amount of money to replace it, I'm just going to try to fix it. I found online at a place called shopjimmy.com. They sold all of the circuit boards for the back of the television. In case anything goes wrong, it's a bundle pack. And it comes with things like the T-Conn chip, which is pretty notorious, something that goes out in the back of these TVs. It also came with the component board, and it came with the motherboard. So today we're going to tear this TV apart, and we're going to remove the old boards and put the new boards in. And try not to get hurt in the process. Stay tuned. Let's go. So the serial number, which is one of the most important things you're gonna need to look at here. In this case, my serial number is LTT7 SEBR. The numbers are irrelevant. What they look for is the first set. LTT7 SEBR. That's the part that I'm going to need. That's the serial number for the parts that we're going to order, which I have done. You'll also find it on the back of the television here. I keep my dang shadow out of it. The first thing that you want to do when you're taking these guys apart is we want to take the legs off, and that's the first thing that I did here, is I removed the legs. Now there's 2 screws for each leg, and of course 2 legs. And they go on the bottom here, no big deal. So you pop out these 2 screws, these legs come out. Then you go around and you collect everything else. I got, let's see, there are 2 screws back here on the component section. They were standalones and they were a different size. So I took them here and I taped them to a 3x5 card so I would not lose them. So we have those guys. Then, along the bottom are 3 larger screws, which I have removed. And here's where they are. And then all around the television on the rim, there is these tiny little sucker screws. We went ahead and took all these bad boys off and wrapped them in this here tape so I don't lose them. Alright, and there's quite a few. So, to get the outside, the back end of the TV off, I took a tool that I have that actually came with a new radio that I bought for my wife's Toyota, a car which we no longer have. Don't ask. And I used it to pry on the corners and basically lift off the back. There's little clips on the inside holding it together. They're not very strong. You're not going to break anything. Okay, you're going to be able to get the back end off, no problem. Okay. So, when you take the back end off, you will notice, however, that there is a couple of wires dangling from it. It's basically your power cord. And it attaches down here in the corner and over here to the component board. That's it. 1, 2. That's them. Now that we've got this off, I'm just going to take this baby and get it completely out of our way. There we go. Okay. Now, you look at the back of this thing, and the average person is like, oh my God! It's actually not that bad. There's only 3 circuit boards. You see that? It has a bunch of wires, but as long as we're not idiots, and we either A, label where the wires go, or B, remove one board at a time, the smart choice, we shouldn't lose track of where all these wires go. And as you can see, I have got identical pieces. There's the T-Conn chip. You see the motherboard back here, where something must have and may have gone wrong. I'm not sure when the TV suddenly shut off, but here's the new motherboard. Looking pretty exact. And then we got the component board. And there was really no reason to replace all 3 of them, since I could probably have used you know, some some magic science and or some telepathic powers and determined exactly which one of these boards had gone bad. But I decided that for $37 I could just replace all three of them, and it would just be silly not to. And if for $37 replacing these three did not fix the problem, well then the TV is going to the trash. Alright, let's get started. And I know what you're thinking. James, you gotta be safe, right? I mean, you gotta ground yourself at least. You are right. This is a floor mat from an old Dodge Caravan that I used to own, that I no longer own. Don't ask. Contact. Grounded. You're going to want to make sure that you have your NOAA applicable radio to ensure no storms are brewing.
Sunset information for Gainesville. Sunrise Friday at 7:43. Sunset Friday at 6:43.
First, I'm going to remove the component board by taking off these 4 screws. However, to ensure the wires are plugged correctly, I'm going to take the wires out of the old board, plug them into the new board, and then fasten the board down. Yeah! Alright, so as you can see, I've pulled off the 4 screws, and what it did was it released these brackets off of the back. They just kind of slide off, and set them aside. 4 screws, and each one of them has a tiny washer, so be very careful not to lose these. Also, by the way, I used a non-magnetic screwdriver head. Old one off, new one lined up, everything except the power plugged in here. Let's get it down. Next, T-Conn chip. 2 screws. Lifted the little tabs here so you can get these out. There you go. Okay. Now you can pull these babies out safely, just like this. Boom, boom. Unplug that bad boy. 2 screws come out. Let's go. Old one off. New chip going on. Okay, so I got this guy in place, but some bad news. So the T-Conn chip that I had sent to me didn't work. Let me see if I can zoom in here. Down on the inside, where you would lift this up to put your ribbon, some of the teeth on the inside are all busted up. See there in the center? And it won't actually receive the cord. Well, I had to take out 4 bolts, including the inside bolt on the pot in the back here for the power. 1 in each corner. I also pulled 2 power cables. Not exactly sure where they go to. I haven't read the motherboard, so not exactly sure. Just unplug them. Okay, I'm an idiot. I also had to undo this screw. Old board off, new board on. By the way, that screw right there was longer than the rest, just as a heads up. Now I'm going to put the back on, put the feet on, stand it up, and try to start it. I'll have my fire extinguisher next to me. Okay, so let's put the back on. We got to take this power cord and plug it in here, and we plug it in down here. This other little piece right here. So here we go. Plug it in. Let me do that now. Victory is mine. I have slayed you. It was clearly the motherboard or the component board. Look at this. It is working. It is on. Yes, now it's back where it belongs. With all the other TVs.